Still one piece of Week 6 business to wrap up before we move on to Week 7. And of course, that's our top plays and primetime performance. We begin with the last undefeated team left in the EPC South, the Emmaus Green Hornets, who continued their recent offensive renaissance with a 51-point showing Friday against Stroudsburg. An evening sparked by senior quarterback Jake Foda, who finished 15 for 22 passing for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 TD tosses to brother Chase, sandwiched around a scoring strike to Jackson Lake. The senior signal caller also ran in a fourth quarter score, finding the end zone from 18 yards out. Foda is now over 2,000 yards passing for his Green Hornets career. He's up to 13 passing touchdowns this season, as Emmaus is now 6-0. Foda wasn't alone on Friday, though. Green Hornets also had their ground game working versus the Mountaineers. Just a week after ripping off a career-high 130 yards rushing, senior Tyleek Jarvis was back for more, needing just 6 carries to rack up 93 yards and a couple of scores. After a 21-yard TD tote, the senior appeared to be down here, but somehow manages to stay on his feet before finishing off a 33-yard rushing touchdown. Emmaus averaging 54 points in just the last 3 games. Hornets have now outscored their first 6 opponents 221-71. Pleasant Valley, meanwhile, was trying to stay perfect in the north. Bears were actually tied with the Trojans midway through the second quarter when Parkland seized control for good with this explosive 74-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by freshman Marquez Wimberly. Wimberly's 4th TD this season and the first special teams score for the Trojans this fall, giving Parkland a 14-7 lead from which they would never look back. The quick strike by the track and field star, the first of 31 unanswered points produced by Parkland. Trojans able to take control in the second half thanks to their ground game, which was anchored by an uber-efficient effort out of the backfield from junior Trey Tremba. Just 8 carries on Friday, but he made the most of them, racking up 120 yards while finding the end zone 3 times. After opening the scoring with a 10-yard jaunt, the junior helped put this one out of reach with a pair of third-quarter runs, finding pay dirt from 40 and 27 yards out. Tremba up to 8 rushing scores on the year, 9 TDs in total, as Parkland improves to 3-3 in advance of Friday's showdown with East Stroudsburg South. Cavaliers hoping for a slightly better outcome than a week ago when Liberty quarterback Tommy Mason racked up nearly as many yards by himself as the entire East Stroudsburg South team. 341 all-purpose yards to the Cavaliers' 344 as a group. Mason piled up 213 through the air with a couple of passing scores. The senior also racking up 28 yards on the ground on 18 carries, finding the end zone twice there as well, as the Hurricanes won their first game at home in 3 years with a 44-28 triumph. Sean Dano's group is now 2-4 overall, just on the outside of the district playoff picture with a date at Emmaus this Friday. Northwestern Lehigh, meanwhile, is currently 2nd in the District 3A standings after the Tigers earned their 4th straight victory with a bruising win over Saucon Valley. Junior running back Dalton Clymer leading the charge with 22 carries for 116 yards, accounting for 2 of Northwestern's 3 touchdowns on the night. After his 3-yard jaunt gave the Tigers a 14-0 first quarter lead, the junior sealed Northwestern's 5th win this season with another 3-yard scoring scamper in the 4th. Tigers blanked the Panthers 20-0, Northwestern's 2nd shutout in just the last 3 weeks. Those your top plays from Week 6 on the high school gridiron.